love to get the real birth certificate, wouldn't you?
I've seen the real birth certificate. I put it on the internet.
Barack Obama released his purported long-form birth certificate after we had been told that the only birth certificate that existed was the short form posted on the internet. There are still now many serious questions about its authenticity. These questions are monumental, and they go directly to the legitimacy of the document that the White House presented to the world as the real deal. Following are just 7 of these serious concerns. The stamp, affixed April 25, 2011, says, "I certify that this is a true copy or abstract of the record on file in the Hawaii State Department of Health." The word "the" in front of record has a typo in it. Instead of an H, there is an X. Yet on a copy of a Hawaii long-form birth certificate issued only 1 month earlier, the stamp clearly says "the record" with an H, not an X. The White House released Obama birth certificate has the same deficiency that the short form certification of live birth had when it was first displayed to the public by the dailycause.com on June 12, 2008. Both documents have been made available only in a digitized form, and neither have a raised impression of the Hawaii state seal. Without the state seal, the White House released document lacks the certifying authority of the state of Hawaii. Additionally, releasing a birth certificate without the seal does not conform to Hawaii's standard practice for issuing certified copies of birth certificates. Without the seal, it is not a certified copy according to Hawaii's own policies. According to a press release issued by Hawaii Governor Neil Abercrombie, President Obama requested and was granted, quote, 2 certified copies of his original long-form birth certificate. These were supposedly hand-delivered to Obama's personal attorney, Judith Corley. The governor's office, however, would not respond to requests to clarify whether the certified copies given to Corley were somehow exempted from the embossing, or to explain how the seal may have, quote, vanished between the time it was given to Corley and the time the purported same document was posted online. To make matters even stranger, MSNBC reporter Savannah Guthrie tweeted that she was given access to the actual paper document and that she has, quote, seen and felt the seal. Guthrie further posted a photograph of the document in which a raised seal can be seen but not clearly read. Where did this copy come from? How did she get it, and the rest of the world can't get it? Very strange indeed. Just 2 weeks before Obama released his long-form birth certificate, Hawaii's former health department chief, Chiyomi Fukino, the one official who claimed to have examined Obama's original birth document, was interviewed by NBC News national investigative correspondent Michael Isikoff, who reported that Fukino told him she had seen the original birth certificate and that it was, quote, half-typed and half-handwritten. However, the document released by the White House was entirely typed. What Fukino described is apparently a different document from what Obama released to the public. There is still the question of the multiple computer-generated layers of the document that was released, which the White House claims to be a scan or a photo of the original. Several experts are now on record claiming that what the White House presented as a photo was actually a computer-manipulated document. It's still unclear exactly what may have been manipulated in the document that the White House released. Ivan Zatkovich of Tampa-based eComp Consultants, which consults on intellectual property for telecommunications, web publishing, and e-commerce, says, quote, "The content clearly indicates that the document was knowingly and explicitly edited and modified before it was placed on the web." And KJCT-TV of Grand Junction, Colorado, reported the opinion of graphic artist James Colby, who said, quote, "There is no doubt it has been edited, and quite significantly." Then there is the matter of kerning. Carl Denninger, the former CEO of MCSNet, a Chicago networking and internet company, demonstrates kerning on the birth certificate. This is a lining up of letters routinely done by computers, but impossible on typewriters of the 1960s. This implies that the document was computer-generated and not photocopied. In this picture, you can see that the A and the P share vertical space on the line. This is an example of kerning, which only modern computers can do. The birth certificate's reported delivering physician, Dr. David Sinclair, differs from previously published reports and even the myth-busting Snopes.com's original entry, which named Dr. Rodney T. West as the doctor of record. Obama's purported birth certificate contains over a dozen differences in form from the verified Hawaii copy of the birth certificate issued to the Nordyke twins, born the next day at the same reported hospital in which Obama was born. Just two of those differences are given here as an example of these anomalies. Number one, the local registrar listed in the Nordyke twins' birth certificate is notably different than the local registrar on the Obama birth certificate. Number two, though Obama was born before the Nordyke twins, and though his birth was filed with the registrar 3 days before the twins' birth, Obama's purported birth certificate has a higher registration number. Doesn't it make sense that if Obama was truly born in Hawaii, that there would be a birth certificate on file that could be released the day it was asked for 2.5 years ago, as John McCain released his in the Senate hearings? Doesn't it make sense that it probably would have been a certificate with a seal on it and free from gross typos and with a registration number consistent with the certificates before and after it? Wouldn't it stand to reason that the printing on the certificate would be consistent with a 1960s typewriter and not a 21st century computer? Wouldn't it make sense that the doctor's name on the certificate would be the same that had been previously reported by Obama's biggest supporters, who claimed to have seen the original? How could they have gotten the doctor's name wrong? How could someone who say that they saw it and handled it claim that it was half typed and half written, and then, just 2 weeks later, the long form is presented by Obama himself and it is 100% typed with no handwriting on it? This issue of the birth certificate is far from over, regardless of what the White House wants us to believe.
I've seen the real birth certificate. I put it on the internet.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.